Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten, and today we are doing day 5 of the 13 days of horror. Today we are going over some cannibal horror book recommendations. Surprisingly, these are all ones that I have read this year. Prior to this, I really don't think I read many, if any. This year has been the year of, well, cannibals. So grab yourselves a beverage. Let me know, is this sort of a sub-genre of horror of interest to you? I don't know what it is about it, but I do find it quite fascinating, especially the ways that it can be used as metaphors for different things. So I quite like it, but you'll have to let me know. I know it is a little bit gory. Also, there are a couple cannibal books that I've read this year, which you will see in other videos, but I don't mention it about them because that's actually kind of spoilers. If you've read them, you'd know, but that's why they're not included in this video, because if they're spoilers, I don't want to spoil the surprise for you. Although, you know, if you'd rather not be surprised and it's not the sort of thing that you like, then, you know, maybe check up trigger warnings for it. There will be things like, I know Storygraph is quite good for things like that, but yeah, I guess let's get into the mixture of books that I have read that involve people eating people. Really? In various different ways. I'm going to start off with the ones that I don't own physically. One of them I've actually lent to my dad, The Butcher's Daughter, and this one is by David DeMuck and Corinne Lee Clark, I think it is. And this one I really enjoyed. This one is telling the tale of Mrs. Lovett. Now, Mrs. Lovett, for those of you who don't know, is somebody that bakes people into pies, and her partner was Sweeney Todd. So it's the demon barber on Fleet Street. He would slit people's throats and she would cook those people into pies to sell to people. It was a dark duo. It's based on a Penny Dreadful, and I just love seeing an interpretation of this. This is not a story I have seen retold very often, and I loved how this is from Mrs. Lovett's perspective. Sweeney Todd makes an appearance, but is not the main focus on the book. Instead, we're seeing Mrs. Lovett from when she is a lot younger. We're having letters. It's all done in epistolary format. It's actually sent to a journalist who is trying to investigate something, and she finds this woman in a convent, and it is her tale that's being told, but it is written by somebody else. So the person that's narrating the tale is narrating it to somebody else to write down, and then towards the end we start getting it directly from them writing it, and you can tell instantly the shift between the writing. The first bit is a bit more smooth, made a little bit more palatable, whereas when you start shifting and you get the narrator writing down their own thoughts, it is a lot more abrasive, a lot more blunt, a lot more gross in places. But I really enjoyed the storyline. I thought it was just so interesting, such a unique take on it all, and I really enjoyed it. So, you know, if you're hungry for some pie, feel free. But no, genuinely, I do think it was really good. I think I just loved it for the novelty of it. This is not a book I have seen retold before. It's not a story I have seen really retold. It's not something that gets retold often. So I really enjoyed this look at this character who maybe she had a reason for baking people into pies. I guess you'll have to find out. Another one is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. This is a book I'm very tempted to get a physical copy of because this truly was quite gross. And then I finished the book, and then I started putting together little tidbits that were in the book, and I was like, oh, that was brilliant, and now I want to reread it to see, are those tidbits just at the end, or is it actually in place from the start and I missed it? I cannot wait to go back and reread it to see. But in this one, we're following a main character whose family's not doing so well. So her mum and father are divorcing. Her mum's doing really bad because of this. The character we're following, she's having to take over a lot of the roles and responsibility, make sure her mum is actually eating, help look after her sister and things. Her mum starts getting obsessed with fish eyeballs and is like, you've got to eat them, they're the best part. Our main character's trying to do anything she can to help her mum, so she decides to try and eat them. And there sparks a whole thing, especially because we have a new guy come onto the scene, and he is a horrible guy. He's a walking red flag of a person, and he's also obsessed with Asian women to a really uncomfortable degree, and considering that our main character is Korean American, her mum is Korean, it's unsettling. The reasons why this guy is with her mum is horrible, and she becomes obsessed with his bright blue eyes and wonder what they would taste like. It's very much kind of supporting women's wrongs at this point, but like I said, there was something that happens in the book that I pieced together and I was like, that was really good, which I'm not going to go into because I don't want to spoil things and stuff, but this book is really good. It does a lot of commentary on racism and on how Asian women are sexualized and all these different things, which I think are really important, as well as that family dynamic and how difficult it can be to be stuck in this position where you're now no longer a daughter, you're also having to be a mother, and that frustration, the difficulty. She's also got exams and stuff she's trying to get through, how it starts impacting every part of her life and starts impacting the relationship between her and her sister. Like, I think all of that was really well explored, so would really recommend this book. I think it was really well done. And then the last one that I don't own physically is A Certain Hunger by Chelsea Summers. This was a book that I read for, I think it was Reading Booktubes Best Weird Books, that vlog, and yeah, I really liked this. This was my favourite book out of those books that I read. Really interested. The way it's written is we're getting a story told from a woman in prison, and it's telling the tale of how she became to be in prison. She is a food critic and she's very good at her job. She loves food, she loves the preparation of it all, she loves it all. And what she starts doing is getting a taste for human flesh, specifically her partners. So she has like various different relationships, different boyfriends and things, and we're seeing them be prepared in different ways and stuff. I will say there's one bit that got a little bit slow for me, but I quite liked the writing style. I enjoyed this look at a critic, and also you can't trust this person because she even tells you that she plays up things because she has students coming to visit her to see, like, you know, a female serial killer, a female cannibal, trying to understand her psyche, and she plays up to it. She really leans heavily into that role because she likes the interactions with the students. So we can't trust that what she's actually writing is actually true. How much of this is she just playing up for us, and how much of it is really just her kind of posturing and things like this. And you can definitely feel that from the writing. She is so self-centered, she is so like self-obsessed in a way of being like, I am the best, I walk into a room and everybody pays attention to me. Like, she is very much that, but also then the way that she explains things, the things that she does and stuff, like, I enjoyed it just trying to pull apart how much of this was exaggerated and things, and I enjoyed that. I think the character loves the attention of being a serial killer, of being seen as this woman that is so formidable. I think that's something that I've enjoyed a lot about these horror books, and why I've enjoyed the cannibal aspect so much is because you can sometimes get them portrayed as women just taking power for their own and being unapologetically themselves. And so I kind of like that. Obviously it's done in different ways. Sometimes it's described as like a hunger, and this flesh is trying to replace that hunger for recognition, for love, for, you know, there's a lot that you can take from it. It's not just the power play. With this one, A Certain Hunger, it was the power of it, the feeling of being powerful in a world where women aren't allowed to feel powerful. So I quite liked that exploration of it. It's not going to be for everyone. I know not everybody likes it because they don't get on with the character, but I don't know, there's something that I do like about the horror genre, is seeing women be able to come into their power, express their rage and things in ways that just aren't acceptable for society. I mean, obvious reasons, you really shouldn't be going around killing people and stuff like that, but in general, how it's more widely accepted for men to be angry and aggressors rather than women, and horror gives a place for women to actually explore that side a little bit more. So I find that quite interesting. One of the things that I like exploring and stuff, I guess. Anyway, moving on. A book that has become one of my favourites of the year is The Lamb by Lucy Rose. So you will be seeing this again at the end of the year, but I loved this book. This one was heartbreaking because you're seeing this done in a very different way. So in this one, we're following Margaret, and she lives with her mum in this little place that's kind of just off of a hiking trail. Every so often they'll get people stumble into the house because, you know, they're lost, they need food, they're dehydrated and stuff, and Margaret's mum's like, come in, we'll help you, until she kills them and they eat them. The iconic line of this book, how it all starts off, is, on my 4th birthday I plucked 6 severed fingers from the shower drain. That is I mean, what a way to start a book. That was brilliant. This tale is a tale of this girl who is just trying to be loved by her mum, and how that love is so very conditional. And eventually we have this introduction to a third woman that disrupts the sort of consistency that Margaret's expected. Like, she understands things how they were before, but now with this introduction of this other woman, it's throwing things into whack for her. It's just this really heartbreaking tale about how all Margaret's wanted is to be loved and cherished, how a child should be, how they should feel safe and wanted and loved, and instead doesn't get that. The annotations, what have I annotated in here? My key. So I've got gross and disturbing, because god, there's a lot of those moments. We've got misogyny, quotes that I love, and then the mother-daughter relationship and just how difficult it is. I know when I reread this I'm going to be able to pull so much more from it, because this is one I just keep thinking about, and I keep thinking about different things that are being explored and the way that I can pull things from that. So I think this is a subgenre of horror that I just find fascinating because of the different metaphors I can pull from it, and whether authors are actually intending that to be the case, I don't know, but it's what I take from it, so I quite like it. But the last one I'm going to talk about, I guess, is a bit loose for the genre of cannibal. If we compare it to all of the other ones where we've got people that are intentionally eating people, I mean, I guess they are in this, but it's slightly different. So we have It Lasts Forever and Then It's Over by Anne DeMarcan. And this one, we do have people eating people, but they're zombies. So, and we've always had that, you know, zombies eat human flesh. That's the way it's always been. But I feel like for this one, the metaphor of what it's being used for and that act of eating flesh, I wanted to include it in this video, because this one is very much a trying to fill this empty space inside of you with the eating of this flesh. So it's not just because they're zombies, and I think it actually says in here that they don't have to eat meat, but they choose to. Loved it. This is just a little book, and these, the only annotations I did are quotes that I loved, and that's how much of this book that I love. It is so interesting, it is so well done, and I definitely want to reread it. Again, this is one that you're probably going to see at the end of the year from my top books of the year, just because it really was fascinating, and this is a book that has stayed with me and I find myself thinking about it every so often. Just, it's so interesting. So we're following our main character, and she's dead. She's aware, but she keeps forgetting things. Like, the longer she's been dead for, the more she keeps forgetting, but she knows she is looking for something, keeps trying to eat flesh as a way to kind of replace that gaping hole, but no matter how much she consumes, nothing actually fulfills her, which I just think is an amazing metaphor that you can apply to a lot of different things. That's what we're seeing, and it's this kind of like post-apocalyptic world setting that we're in. I don't want to say too much. It's such a little book that I feel like that little bit I've given you is all you should know going into it. It is a little bit more literary in a way. I wouldn't say it's so much on the horror end, as in like the shocking moments, the grossness, the explicitness of it all. There are definitely some occasional moments like that, but I would say it's more in the literary, it's more exploring what it is like, the act of forgetting things, the act of having this hole within you that you're trying to fulfill. There's one, I'm trying to see if there's like one quote I can give that's kind of out of context, but like gives you an inkling of what I mean. I'm gonna use this quote. Okay. We are just like the living. Hunger is only ravenous hope, a mirage, always receding, the black swarm behind my teeth. There is no bottom to this well, no dark place to wait it out. Nothing will ever touch this craving for you. How long before we let ourselves know what we know? I quite like that, because I feel like it kind of sums up what this book is about, and this is all done stream of consciousness way, and I don't normally tend to like stream of consciousness, but I think every so often it can be done really well, and this is one of those times which I really enjoyed it. So you're not really getting any interactions and like speech marks and things like that. Instead, it is our character's mind and just seeing the relentless stream of thoughts and just seeing them move through this world as it currently is, and the different interactions. Like, I really enjoyed this. Like I say, it leans a little bit more literary, but I think it is definitely worth it. So there we are. Those are 5 cannibal books that I have read this year, and again, I just think each of them are done slightly different. I mean, some of them, like The Butcher's Daughter, is a simple retelling, reimagining of a Penny Dreadful story. Some of them, like The Eyes of the Best Part, more focus in on an expression of that frustration at the way society treats women, how it can be difficult to be biracial and stuck not feeling quite one or the other enough to feel like you fit in anywhere, and as well as that oppression of having to step up and into a role that you shouldn't have to. Like, each of these books I think explores it in a slightly different way and it expresses things in different ways. So I really enjoy it, and I think that's why I found it such a fascinating subgenre of horror to read. It is gross, I'm not gonna lie, it is gross, but I can pull a lot from it, which I don't know what that says about me, but we're gonna leave it there. So thank you so much for watching. I think if you don't really have anything to comment but you made it to the end, then let's put a zombie emoji in the comments below for It Lasts Forever and Then It's Over. And thank you so much for watching. Truly appreciate all of the support that you show, whether you're silently watching, whether you're commenting, whether you're watching this and you don't even like cannibal books. I know a few of my subscribers, I know you don't, but if you've chosen to still watch this video and show that support, I truly appreciate it. Like, that really does mean a lot. And an extra special thank you goes out to all of my Patreons. Thank you so much for all your continued support over there. It means the world. But that is it. So if you've enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing and commenting. Those 3 things really help this channel out. My social media links, anyone I've mentioned, Discord, Patreon, everything will be linked below for you, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.